At Horton's, we obviously do orthotics and prosthetics. Really, in actuality, what we're delivering is a patient outcome. My goal at the end of the day is to have whoever it is I'm working with have the highest functional potential possible. And that's really what we're delivering. We do that through a prosthesis, obviously, and going through all of the fittings, the right components, those type of things that make up the prosthesis. That's really how we try to achieve that goal. One of the important processes when you get a prosthesis is obviously the evaluation of you. And what I'm getting at is every prosthesis, no matter where you go, should be and is designed specifically for you and your capabilities. But the important thing to know is when you come in and you're evaluated, we try to build that prosthesis around you and what you potentially can do. One of the things we do in the assessment is try to figure out what it is you want to do, what your motivation is, and then also what you're capable of or maybe what your potential is. And then that's the basis for how we design the prosthesis. And maybe not necessarily how it fits, but how it works. What the prosthesis itself can give back to the patient. Our goal is to get people back to what they're capable of, or at least what they were doing. Prosthetics in general has changed a lot throughout my career. I've been doing this about 25 years. And obviously when I first started, all the prostheses were basically passive. We were just starting to use some composites and things like that had what we call energy return, and that's still utilized to this day. But it's changed a lot in the last 20 years because now we've got microprocessor control systems. We have elevated vacuum systems. And then now we're just starting to get into bionics. Now, I'm sitting down, I'm Bluetoothing to these systems. I can see in real time as these patients walk, the type of efficiency they have. I can change resistance to knee flexions and things like that gives them more or less stability, speeds them up, slows them down. So a lot of this stuff, the technology's changed drastically compared to how I did it 25 years ago. It's amazing, actually. I would encourage people as they become an amputee or maybe have a family member that's an amputee and they actually start researching it, because obviously most people just on a normal day don't wake up and go, I want to see what kind of options are available. But I deal with that all the time, folks that are looking, researching, trying to figure out what's out there, what's my life going to be like. And I encourage everybody to research, look at it. But my point is, I want everybody to be careful what you see. Two things. A lot of this technology, some of it may not be appropriate for you as an individual, maybe ever, and a lot of it is not. It's not appropriate for new amputees. There's a lot of things a new amputee goes through that may or may not make them appropriate or eligible for some of the technology. So again, that's why it's very important, to talk about these things during your initial evaluation and your initial fittings and those kind of things. And especially me, when I'm working with somebody, I'm kind of guiding them, and I'll give them, short-term, middle-term, and kind of long-term goals where I think we may or may not go. We'll prepare you physically for that. A lot of times you'll have an interim prosthesis. You may need to start out with something that's a little more less technology. It's kind of like a new kid driving. You don't go out and buy them a $60,000 car and let them, they got to learn to drive first. So we start out with that and work with you however we can as far as building the most functional prosthesis that we think is appropriate for you.